Hey Drew, how's it going? Good morning.
Hey, good. Top of the morning to you.
Hey, same here.
October 1st.
Yep. Yeah, so decent amount of time has transpired since last time we got together. We both had busy lives. You get the occasional lockdown from the state of Washington, and me, chasing my family around and doing some Honeywell work. But really glad to come back together with you again, especially to talk about this book called Deep Work, which I think definitely resonated with me, and I think you enjoyed reading it as well. Yeah. So what? So how have you been, and what do you think about this book?
Well, at this point, I don't really think you could say occasional lockdown. I think it's kind of a constant lockdown. So we are determined to do political theater in this system that I'm in. But that's perfect for employing deep work strategies
Yep.
because I am trapped in this cave and I have no excuse not to do deep, meaningful work.
Yeah.
No, I mean I kid, but it is an opportunity. And after being in prison for almost 23 years, time is growing short for me, and I'm going to be re-entering the world soon. And I want to do it as powerful and as effectively as I can. And I
Yeah.
need to maximize my time now if I want to achieve that. Um, so yeah, deep work, the principle of least resistance. Let me just start us off with that. In any setting, without clear feedback on the impact of your various behaviors to the bottom line, we will tend to we will tend towards behaviors that are easiest in the moment. That
Yep.
just means that I need feedback because I have a natural proclivity to make things easy for myself, and not necessarily in the best way.
Yeah.
That's the principle of least resistance.
Yeah. I think we all have that tendency, right? We want to, work hard and secure comfort, the amenities of life, and then when you get into that state, enjoy it. And sometimes you can get carried away with doing that too much, especially in this modern era where luxury is so prevalent. Instead of pushing yourself, I, when as I was looking over the book again, because I've listened to it, read good chunks of it, done book reviews on it, but deep work is almost, you're building the myelin inside of your head through focused concentration. It's like building muscle. It's not easy. You have to do it focused. You have to, dedicate the time, and because you can't see it like you can see your biceps, sometimes the feedback is not as you know profound as it is when you're exercising. Whether or not your
Yeah,
body fat percentage and whatnot. And so, but it's vital in this modern era, especially in where knowledge is critical. Building your ability to think and create and problem solve. Those are the skills that really are being atrophied, by this distraction-filled world. And so I
yeah,
think it definitely resonates with me in my current work, in my previous work in the army, etc. And I'm challenged to have deep work, for our colonel and convict efforts, because I want to do that more, and I need to do a better job structuring my daily life so that I keep on taking bites out of that elephant.
yeah. What we choose to focus on and what we choose to ignore plays a defining role in the quality of our lives. You were
Yeah,
talking about deep thinkers tailoring their environment, and environment design is a key element in this book. And I notice that even in the little 8 by 10 cell that I live in, if I organize it, if I structure it, if I declutter, it allows me to think better. A lot of us in life aren't thinking effectively because we have not designed our environment to help us. We're too distracted. For you guys out there, it could be the presence of television, electronics. It could be actual physical clutter. And I know for me, like when I want to focus on a couple of books, I need to make sure there's nothing else building up on my desk except those books, a writing tablet, pen or pencil, whatever I need. And some
Yep.
of the greatest thinkers that have impacted our world were excellent at this. Or they went for walks in the woods,
Yeah.
and they put their mind in an environment where they could think without distractions. And one of my first triune um, concepts out of this book, it starts with setting an intention, which is goal oriented. Establish your goal. Develop strategies to achieve your goal, and then defend against distraction. And those three things operating together will take you in that place called deep work. Set
Yeah.
intention, develop strategies, defend against distraction.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I
And I mean, and that's for fitness. And that's for fitness. That's for anything you want to achieve in life. I mean, I
Yep.
think I would even say relationships, marriage.
Yeah.
And you set the intention that I want to be with this person the rest of my life. I'm going to develop strategies to make this person the most important person to me the rest of my life.
Yep.
We're going to live together. We're going to do things together. We're going to have children. We're going to raise our children. But how many relationships forget that other element? Defend against distraction. And I mean, distraction is kind of a weird term, but what I'm saying is that every commitment you have in life, whether it's fitness, relationships, whatever, there's something that wants to take you away from it. You
Yep.
need to defend against it. You can
Yep.
call it distraction, you can call it the enemy, you call it the devil, but you need to defend. Whatever you want to achieve needs a defense.
Yep.
And being in the military forever, you know about that.
Yeah, and I think it's all about being deliberate, you know, and I like how you set up the dominoes, right? Hey, set the intention, develop the strategy, now execute the strategy, but be mindful that the things are going obstacles are going to emerge. They're going to try to disrupt your
Yeah.
strategy. And so I really like. Have I ever described to you the acronym called WHOOP? Whoop it.
Whoop it? No.
Whoop it.
How do you
Yeah.
spell that?
So
WHOOP?
no, WOOP dash it. Okay, and so it's actually pretty good. I need to find out the author that came up with it. But you make a wish. Okay, there's your intention, right?
Okay.
You visualize the outcome you want with that wish. What
Yeah.
value is it going to add to you with it, right? Hey,
I'd be
that
great
loving
at that.
relationship. Then the second O is identify the obstacles that are going to disrupt your wish and your outcome that you want, and then develop a plan, plan on how you're going to
Yeah.
get there, acknowledging the obstacles. And then IT stands for implementation intentions. So when you do get that obstacle, you then articulate to yourself, what are you going to do to overcome it? And a lot of times in life with these strategies and our personal goals and whatnot, it's distractions are the primary obstacles that are going to disrupt you. So when those
Yeah.
distractions surface, what are you going to tell yourself beforehand that you're going to do, so you can almost have like a Pavlov's dog's response when you see it, and then bam,
Yeah.
you do the right thing in that moment. So I think that's a pretty good moniker. So that's one thing, like mental tool that I think is useful in respect to cultivating deep work. The other thing that I really liked from Cal Newport was the emphasis on the importance of maximizing the utilization of your willpower, right? So
Okay.
create your environment so that your willpower doesn't get diffused with distractions. Don't jump from task to task to task to task. That's what I do there almost every day at Honeywell, because of the line of work we are. But the more you can focus that time blocks, the more your willpower is then protected, and then you use it on a daily basis to the max extent. And I think that going back to our SHEARS acronym, I really like the idea of having willpower in the center. That's sort of like the gas in the engine, you know, that gets things going. And if you make sure you're fueling that and try to cultivate willpower, I think that's a pretty good, mental framework to have, towards
Yeah.
accomplishing deep work in your life.
Yeah. Willpower is it's like trying to grab water in your hands.
Yeah,
It's there for a second, then it slips through your fingers, or you
yeah,
say sand. And recently, like I had been running as a part of like my workout, doing this cross training, CrossFit thing. So we're constantly tying in a couple mile run with our exercises. And one thing that was warring against me was my mechanics when I ran. So my running was that much more laborious because of how I ran. And I was trying to make it easy as possible on myself without even knowing it subconsciously. But my efforts at making it easier were making it harder.
huh,
And when a buddy of mine, a guy that I work out with, was working with me on my mechanics, at first I felt like, oh man, I'm employing, you know, more elements of my body in this run. Now my mile time is faster. I'm running a lot better.
oh, that's
And
cool.
and I needed a change on my mechanics. So what I'm saying about willpower is once I was able to run better, it was easy for me to will myself to run longer.
Huh,
And so the willpower is hard to harness if the things that you're doing are warring against you.
yeah,
And so I think a focus on, like chasing that 1%, the mechanics, it's not that I have to run 10 miles a day, but I have to run this mile better than I ran that mile yesterday. I think that's what it is with how do you harness willpower? Well, if everything you do, you're doing it the wrong way, and it's going against you, like a wave in the ocean pushing against you, right?
yeah.
Then it's hard to find the willpower. And I think when you start to make the minor adjustments to how you're doing things, you find the willpower there to now push forward. Does
Yeah,
that make
so
sense?
yeah, so two things pop in my head. So it's I don't like the word harness. Maybe how about cultivate, right? Because if you have a good
I,
night's
I can go.
sleep,
I can go with that.
yeah, if you have a
Go with
good
that.
night's sleep, if you have a good diet, if you work on your environment, you work on your mechanics, you're talking about a bunch of different 1% improvements you can make in all these different domains that could
Right.
contribute to it be reducing the resistance that might be pushing back on you towards where you want to go. The artist journey. I was re-listening to that the other day. That was one of the big things from Stephen Pressfield is
Yeah.
as an artist or somebody that wants to create stuff, you are always going to have resistance, blowing in your face. And so,
Yeah.
how do you cultivate the willpower to keep cutting through that wind and getting to where you want to go? And I think that willpower is a nebulous concept, but I think it's one of those resources in life, right? Like time and money, you know, it's sort of related to
Tremendous.
it's sort of related to energy, but you could say it's willpower because willpower is like it's the gumption to go after and do stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's another way to take what you're getting at because if you're always focusing on cutting down the obstacles, pushing through resistance, you can be your best self no matter what age you are. You can always be improving yourself and be the best self you can be. With the time you have left on this earth.
No, I agree. I was looking at these different strategies. He was talking about monastic,
Yeah.
bimodal, and then the chain method. The chain method was something that I think Jerry Seinfeld had talked about, or he mentioned him talking about in the book. And I think that it was about in relation to jokes. He's like, how often do you write jokes? He said, every day.
Yeah.
And every day that he writes a joke, he puts a red X on the calendar. And then his goal is don't break that chain.
Yep.
You know, and rather than focusing on just the work, focus on the visual thing that you're using to track your work. And so kind of what I'm talking about is how you think about what you're trying to accomplish in life is important. Okay, so I kind of threaded, I found a note from one of our other books called Maximum Achievement. And he said, it is not what happens to you, but how you think about what happens to you that causes your response, positive, negative, stressful or unstressful.
Yep.
And so how you're thinking about what you want to achieve, whatever mental methods help you get to that goal. There's many different ways to achieve. And what we're talking about is, we keep saying the title of the book is Deep Work. What we're really talking about is a quality life. What are the methods and the mechanics for a high quality life that is rich in meaning, that you're effective? And not everybody's trying to write a book or be a stand-up comedian. Some people are just trying to be good fathers, good mothers. They're trying to be effective in whatever job they have, build their family. Whatever you're trying to do, you need to have concentrated focus. And that's in the title of this book. It's called The Deep Work. By employing the discipline of deep work techniques, whatever it is we're talking about, you could train your brain to focus on positive stimuli. And if you spend enough time in this state, your mind will understand your world as rich in meaning and importance. Wow. That's what we're talking about. I don't want to just throw a bunch of gobbledygook out there that people can't relate to, because they're like, well, I'm not trying to run 2 miles today, or manage people at Honeywell. No. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about an effective life for you, where you are achieving the goals that your heart and mind create. And you're going to need strategies in order to do that.
Yeah, that's
pretty like an opening right there.
That's pretty good.
That's how I should have started the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm farther down on my coffee.
Yeah, you didn't have enough coffee yet. You didn't have enough coffee. So, hey, when you start, but what you did open with that I thought was good is, you talked about, it goes back to the whole Tony Robbins thing, what to think. And you said, hey,
what things mean.
What to think. What are we going to focus on? What are we going to ignore? The thing is sometimes we don't consciously make those decisions. We just let the world come into our eyes and we get distracted like there's no tomorrow. And we need to stop that and then deliberately choose, hey, I'm not going to watch that stupid commercial. I'm not going to turn on that TV. I'm not whatever. I'm going to stay focused on what's important to me. And that's investing in this relationship with my wife or my kids. It's going to be, doing a good job in my work. It's going to be, cleaning up the house so that, it's nice and pristine and beautiful, because then that change your mental attitude by doing that. Yeah. And then, like you said, what things mean. And, and if you keep on looking for the positive interpretation of different things that are happening in your life, and then pursuing, and then what to do, and then creating those positive things, you're going to build momentum. You're going to build momentum in your willpower. You're going to build momentum in your positive habits. And then that can make you the best partner, husband, father, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think That's the magic spot.
Yeah, we're under a minute, man. Time flies.
It
So I
does.
just wanted to tell everyone to check out this book, Deep Work by Cal Newport. Also, one book that we didn't really touch on was Flourish by Martin Seligman. I need to study that a little bit more, but we're talking about a quality life, an effective life, a life full of meaning where you achieve the goals that you set out for. And you need strategy to do that. We need strategy to be the best version of yourself, whether you're in prison or at home in Kansas. Hey, look, I love you, buddy. Great conversation. I already look forward to the next one.
I love you too, Drew. Good to see
Yeah,
you again.
talk soon.
Yep. Talk to you later.